Hi, how are you today? We're here with a celebrity. Yes, Tanya Hadzhieva from London. She's Leo Crystal Queen. It's an award-winning author, healer, and public speaker. She's certified with reconnective healing practitioner by Dr. Eric Pearl. Her main purpose in life is to be a source of light to the world. She's the founder of Wake Up Call Show and also the Queen's Joy magazine that I was invited there for an article and I was, wow. And I was invited to the Wake Up Call too, to your shows.
Yeah.
So I'm honored to work with you in these projects. And well, you're a celebrity for me because you're right. You're a writer like me. I wrote when I began writing when I was 7 years old. But
hmm
I would like to know when you do begin writing.
First of all, thank you so much, Clara, for this amazing opportunity, and hi to everyone who is listening right now. Very, very honored to be here. I started writing the Ruby Rose and the Crystal Palace during the COVID pandemic. I was working in a PR company, and I was very, very excited with the job. And after that, as you know, COVID was very hard for all of us. I got redundant and couldn't travel home, so there was a lot of emotion going on. I had a breakup, so all this emotion needed to kind of go somewhere. And that's how the book came into life. So I started writing it 2019 around March time, and it was literally delivered to my door on my birthday in July. So in the course of 3-4 months, it was all completed. So yeah, this is how it came to life through, as we all probably know, turning the pain into gain is something, very, very beautiful. And I know your story because I have featured you on the Queen's Joy magazine, and you have an amazing story of how you wrote your books. So, I mean, it's beautiful to turn something, like an emotion like that into, let's say, educating and inspiring, young adults.
Yes, of course, and for adults too. I think I write for everyone too
Yeah,
because
of course.
uh, and when you write, you reflect yourself too. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a healing method too. For me, it's like a
Exactly.
healing
Yeah.
method.
Mm-hmm.
So
It definitely is.
definitely. And um, when do you begin writing? At what age do you begin writing, or you were interested in writing?
Well, writing, actually, I have been writing poems since childhood. I actually had my first award that I won for a poem when I was the age of 8 or 9. And I was a lot in like different competition when I was a child when it comes to literature and writing, but I always written in Bulgarian. So obviously, this is my first major creation of creating a book in English, and that was, as I said, 2019, and I was 28 back then. Oh, time flies so fast. So yeah.
Yes, yes. So you were very little when you begin writing, and as my story too, like at 7 years old, I begin writing too. And it's interesting how you love this and you have this talent and you want to um, to give it to the others, no, as a strategy to heal, no. And what is the objective of your book, Ruby Rose and the Crystal Palace? Ay, se frició. We have some trouble with the internet. Let me see. No, it's not here. Don't worry, we will be with her. So we're talking about the book Ruby Rose and the Crystal Palace with award-winning writer Tanya Hadzhieva. She's going to be here right now. We have problems. Something happened. We had a little problem with the internet. Don't worry. And I was telling our audience that we're talking about your book, Ruby Rose and the Crystal Palace. And so we were saying that what's the objective of Ruby Rose?
Well, the objective is that I'm kind of bringing all the young adults, especially women, through this journey of through Ruby Rose, basically how she finds out her inner strength through so many trials and tribulations. Obviously, she's fighting for her loved one when her parents don't even agree for her to be together. So she's traveling between two countries. She also finds that she is hybrid human being. So she actually originated from the star Sirius B. So she travels to different dimensions, different planets, and also different countries. So there's a lot of going on. And on top of that, there is this virus being unleashed on planet Earth, which she has to save everyone. That's kind of her mission. So basically, through that journey, I want to inspire young women to never give up on love, because love is everything we have. No matter how many times we have been hurt, just to find that strength within, to find their mission, their calling, and also just to continue, loving no matter what. So that's basically the objective.
Interesting. I have to read your book. I already see all the description of the book, but I have to read it. I have to read it, and I like all the readings about the books for teenagers. I love them. I love them. So
when the world becomes too mundane, it's good to always escape into a romantic fantasy, to bring you a different perspective of life and the superpowers that we all have.
Yes, of course. And what did you name it? Ruby Rose and the Crystal Palace?
Very, very interesting question. First of all, Ruby. Ruby is my birthstone because I'm born in July. I'm a Leo. So I decided to I wanted it to be Crystal Palace. So I said, okay, the name of the actual character needs to also be, based on crystal. So I was wondering which one, and I chose Ruby, obviously, which resonates a lot with myself personally. And that's why the higher self, actually, that plays the role of a higher self in the book, is called Emeralda, because she's the Emerald Queen. So there's the action in the book is all revolving around crystals, the Crystal Palace, the Crystal City. There's a lot of healing, talked about crystals, crystal beds that heal the body. The dimensions change, so it goes from mundane, day-to-day life where she works, in her job, and then her other mission on Sirius B and what she brings with the crystals to Earth.
Oh, that's wonderful. So I have to read it. I have to read it. And where can we get your book? Where can we get this book?
So the book is available on Amazon. I'm actually wanting to say to everyone who's listening right now, we are going to be launching a new cover very soon to the Ruby Rose and the Crystal Palace. It's been worked on as we speak. And also by the end of May, beginning of June, there should be an audiobook as well. So this will be on Audible as well, for if anyone's interested to listen to it instead of reading. But yes, it's available on Amazon and also on my website, leocrystalqueen.com.
Okay, very good. So you were talking about with me before we had the interview
Mm-hmm.
that you will have a presentation there in London. So
Mm-hmm.
this presentation? It's about your book, or it's about your book Ruby Rose. But when it's gonna be this presentation and everything, so the people can go to the
Yes,
presentation.
they can meet me in person. So it will be still the event is going on the 8th of May, and it will be in the Chelsea Crepper. So it will be in person event, and we will be talking about Ruby Rose. We can even put her in different scenarios to see how she's gonna react. We'll talk about this with women around and see what they can portray in their life through character, because sometimes it's easier to talk about our life through a character than actually through our personal identity, just to see how it plays out and what we can learn and how we can heal together. But also we're going to be talking a lot about the 5 dimension that's coming in, the golden age. We're going to talk about spirituality, and of course we would talk about how they can publish their own book if they have the idea. I would like to give them some guidance, because I know when I was publishing my book, I was really learning everything as I was going. No one came to me and say, Tanya, these are the steps you need to take. I'm like, no, I had to do all by myself.
Yes. So, but you have to prepare to do it too. And but when you do it alone,
Mm-hmm.
it's a challenge. It's a challenge
Yes,
to do it alone. It's
it is a
a
challenge
great
indeed.
challenge.
Yes.
So,
Mm-hmm.
where can we find you and subscribe with you? You already gave us your website, but
Mm-hmm.
where can we see everything about Tanya? Because you are not only a writer, you are a
Yeah.
healer. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
you have a magazine, and you have a podcast, and you have a lot of things.
Well, all of this actually, the podcast, links to the podcast, links to the magazine, and also the healing services that I offer. Everything is on the website, theleocrystalqueen.com. But also, if you want to follow on the social media, I do a lot of TikTok videos about crystals. So if anyone is interested to learn more about crystals and how you can use them, I'm also on TikTok as Leo Crystal Queen. Instagram is also Leo Crystal Queen, so it's very easy. And also I have a Facebook page where people can see again the videos, and all the content is there. It's again Leo Crystal Queen on Facebook. So these are all the channels.
Why do you want to be a light to the world? That's a good question.
Yeah, very good question. Why wouldn't I want to be a light? There's so much darkness around. We need more light. Um, well, I've discovered a lot through my life, and especially recently with my ayahuasca journeys that I have been going through. I've had 5 for the past 2 years, um, and they have been like a breakthrough in my life, understanding who I am, what my mission is, and one of my missions here is to bring more light, to be of service to the light. There are plenty out there that are not serving the light, so of course we have to have the other side, as we are still living in the duality matrix, but we are moving forward to the so-called golden age, which I'm very, very much excited for. So yes, I mean, serving the light, sometimes it can be difficult, it can be challenging, because there will be, of course, people that will try to diminish your light. And I have met many people like that. But of course, perseverance is key to continue on your mission, on your journey. So I think it's very important, in the book, actually, in the book, Ruby Rose is fighting the darkness. She is fighting for the whole of humanity to bring freedom to the people, not only, from the virus that's being unleashed, but when it comes to the reptilian beings that want to invade Earth. She understands that there is a battle. It's unseen for most people, but there is a battle that's going on right now between the light and the dark. So she's serving the light even in the book, and using crystals to purify this whole low vibrational frequency to remove, these enslavement as it is from humanity, and to bring the golden age as we speak.
Yes, so it's part of the healing too, no? When you bring the light, when you heal, you bring the light to people, no? And in the book, I think that it has to be, the virus has to be with resentment or all the emotional things that we have in the world right now, or it has to be only about the virus or the pandemic thing, or it's everything.
She doesn't she does hold a little bit of resentment, but until she's completely actually free and woken up to understand what her mission is, because there is a lot of tribulations between her father and Ruby Rose, and of course the boyfriend that comes onto the picture. So there is this battle, and then fighting the bigger battle, which is for the whole of humanity. Well, in a way, she does feel the emotion and the anger of the enslavement of humanity, and wants to free them, from what they're being trapped in, and to wake them up in a way by removing the virus so everyone can live like a normal life. But it's not like a huge extent where she's like angry, but she does actually fight the reptilians at one point and it happens in London, the whole event.
Okay, so it's very interesting, and they say in some of the comments that you with your book made them go to another worlds, because it's the two worlds are different, but
Yeah.
she has the same objective in the two worlds. So
Yes.
what can you tell us about this? How does the testimonies about the book, how does it work for people? How does it help people or the younger kids? This book, how are they telling you that it helped them?
Okay, how does it help them? That's a great question. First of all, it serves as a source of inspiration and source of courage, because courage is very important at the moment. As we know, there's many agendas being played out, and kids unfortunately fall into many traps as they grow up. And it's very important to have this source of light within that keeps you going. And in the book, as you said, Ruby fights in two different worlds. So there's the 3D world, and then she also fights a battle in the other world, which is on Sirius B. But she has this strong character. She has the armor, she has her crystal sword, she has she trusts herself, she believes in herself, she trusts her intuition. So there's this that helps kids to kind of find their own talents and gifts that they were given to this world, to persevere with everyday challenges, basically. And in the crystal world, there is this battle again between light and dark as it's going. It's kind of like a mirror. So she helps the humans, but also she helps her star family, who is also going through a war. So she finds herself in a lot of like battlefields that help her to build that strong character within, so she can serve the light and actually be of service to others instead of only service to self, which is the other agenda.
Yes, some of the comments I read, it said that the people learn to see their inner self, their inner self, and go through themselves too.
Yeah.
So it's amazing what you do with this book. So every teenager that is hearing us today has to read the book. So you have to read this book, because it's gonna be something that it's gonna heal with words, and it's gonna be something that it's gonna work with your work and let you achieve the self-esteem, achieve your identity, because when we are teenagers, we're finding our identity, our talents, and our self. So
Yes. And
it's interesting, your book, because it gives us that yes, the self-esteem, the to identify yourself and to know who you are. So
yeah.
it's a book, a very complete book. I didn't read it already, but what I read,
Oh, you already
it's
have the whole
interesting.
idea. You have the idea. It's exactly that. It's a self-discovery. It's how Ruby thinks who she is. She goes to college and all of a sudden she finds that she is this super hybrid kind of human hybrid being, and she understands, oh, you actually have a bigger mission than that. Like you think that this is who you are, but actually, this is who you are. So I think it's happening a lot as we're getting more spiritual and in tune with ourselves and awakened to actually understand more of who we are. So this book serves as that kind of like, light that can be like, hey, maybe I would like to go on a self-discovery, as Ruby Rose, and transform their life. And they can be the lights, they can be the courage and the perseverance in their families, their communities, so they can be holding the light. So
And I'm going to make a question that
mhm.
why do you decide to be a healer, but a healer with words, and a healer with all the people that are with you in all your services and everything? Why do you decide to be a healer, Tanya? Why do you decide to be?
That's a beautiful question. Thank you, Clara. I started my healing journey very young. First of all, for the viewers out there, I was pushed to become a doctor when I was in my high school years. So if someone is in their high school and they're listening, that will resonate maybe with a lot of kids. We are under a lot of pressure through society, or you need to be doctor or a lawyer, you need to become this and that, only driven by becoming not rich but have that security of the job. It's not about what you like or you don't like, it's because your parents want you to become something that you might not want to become. So I wanted to be creative. I was dancing, I was actually writing poems, I was writing a painting, but my parents said, you know what, no, you need to go for a doctor. So when my grandmother died, 2009 actually was my first turning point. I realized doctors cannot actually save people. So, through that discovery, because we were very close and I wanted to find her in the other realm where she is, I went completely to the spiritual side. So I started learning a lot about healing, and that's how I stumbled on Eric Pearl and his book Heal Yourself to Heal Others. And then I got certified in Spain actually on one of his courses. But I have found out that through my speaking and through my writing, I can also bring that sort of healing instead of only healing with my hands, because that can also be limiting. You can't heal so many people at once with your hands, but you can always heal people through your own personal story and through the public speaking that I do, or through the book.
Yes, of course.
Started early,
So in
early.
the and why do you decide to be a public speaker too? You do a lot of things.
Yes, I do. I do many things. So I understood that communication has always been my thing. I have, like, when I was little, I used to constantly talk. My father used to say, "You're like a radio station. You don't stop until someone tells you to stop," because I could go on forever. So I realized that I was having that opportunity to speak, but I wasn't channeling it properly. So I wanted to channel it properly to the words that I speak, to the message I bring to the world, to the resonance, how it resonates with people, and just to touch them in their heart. So I've actually moved a lot into public speaking now. So I'm doing more of that. I recently did a talk about spiritual leadership in Chelsea Theatre here in London, and I got amazing feedback. People really told me, oh, that was amazing, you know, you touched my heart. I talk a little bit about the book, but not too much. It was more about my personal journey of healing. So yes, I mean, that has been like a very interesting journey for me, because it's starting to unfold as we speak.
No, but it's very interesting. I love to know writers. I write in Amazon too, so I
Mm-hmm.
like to know writers from all over the world, and for me
Yes.
it's something amazing. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why I choose to tell you to come to this interview, because I
Mm-hmm.
thought that it was going to be something very special, and I see it right now. And when we are writers, we have a common objective to be
Mm-hmm.
that light. Yes,
Yes.
we are
Mm-hmm.
a light for people. With
Exactly.
work, we
Yeah.
heal, and with all our work, yes, like public
Mm-hmm.
speaker, like
Mm-hmm.
in the coaching or the services we have, or magazines, or everything. So
Indeed, yes, and it's very important because there are many souls out there that do need that support. Hence, that's why I'm extending my hand if you ever need any talk in English. Obviously, I do not speak Spanish. To children, I'm very open to speak to them, because you know, my childhood was also pretty, you know, tough. I had to, you know, grow thick skin to be, you know, resilient and to be who I am now. So any support for children, it's very much on my heart.
no, that's amazing. So we have here Pilar Govela Sierra Cinos, Carolina Lazo, Juan Castro, and Cari Mendoza. And
Yeah.
all the people in, so we have Spanish public speaking
Hmm. Hmm.
here with us, and people in
Amazing.
Facebook, and from the US, Europe, a lot of
Hmm.
parts of the world, from LinkedIn to from YouTube. So
Wow.
we're in a lot of channels right now that are seeing Tanya. And Tanya, it's an honor for me to have you here in my program today in this live, and it's not going to be the first one. I think it's going to be more than the first one
Hmm.
interview. So thank you for coming today. And what with what message do you want to close this interview?
I would like to close this interview first to say thank you to all of you who have tuned in and who are going to tune in after the interview is live. And we'll just read my motto on the book is, no one is you, and that is your power to change your reality. So believe in yourself, because your reality is in your hands. You're a powerful creator. And with this, I would like to close. Thank you so much for having me, Clara. It's been a pleasure.
It's a pleasure for me too. So
Thank
see you
you.
then. I'm your friend Clara Govela and your friend Tanya Hadzhieva.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye.
See you.